Welcome to Crossbody of Work. My name is Evan.
I am Javier.
This week we continue our three-part series into the career of Paul Wight, aka The Big Show.
Well,
Yeah, I knew one of us was going to do it, and it's been long enough that I know when to defer. Like I know that I'm like he's about to come in and hit him with the well. This is how we celebrate episode 180 of the podcast.
That's about a third of the Big Show's listed weight.
That is, and it's the exact number of heel and face turns he's had in his career, because this man loves to turn. Before we talk about the Big Show, a couple of housekeeping things. You should follow us on YouTube, subscribe if you're not already there. We have all these episodes on YouTube. Also, hit us up on Instagram and Twitter. Still not calling it X, at Crossbody of Work. And if you're wherever you are, like the video, like the podcast, do all that good stuff. Subscribe to the podcast. Rate it 5 stars. It helps us out tremendously as we continue to grow on our road to WrestleMania, baby. But last week, I hopped on after we recorded to talk about the unfortunate passing of Wyndham Rotunda, a.k.a. Bray Wyatt. And I wanted to give us a little bit of space at the top to talk about Bray, because we haven't been able to talk about it together. Yeah. This sucks. I haven't had a wrestling thing that made me feel this shitty in a while.
Man, when Terry Funk died, that one was really tough for me.
Yeah.
Personally, because I love Terry Funk.
What a wild man.
And just to have it, the back-to-back, like it was the next day, wasn't it? It was Bray Wyatt. Yeah. That really freaking hurt. I mean, it's the fact that he was so young. What was he, 36?
36.
You know, he still had not just an entire, like, probably decade left on his career, but also just like the rest of his life.
Yeah.
You know,
that's I think the hardest thing for me is the like life cut short of someone who is just like clearly has lots to give the world. I don't know if you saw all of the wonderful things that WWE posts, like a 35-minute video of wrestlers just talking about Bray, and every story is like, he made me feel so welcome. He made me feel at home. He remembered like tons of little details. He was always asking about how I was doing. He was giving me ideas. And I'm like, this is clearly someone beloved by the business, by the industry. And that always, it's not like obviously all life is precious, but at the same time, it's just like, man, when somebody is that much of a light.
Not only that, like he was going to get married later this year.
He's got two young kids. You know,
two young kids. 4. He's got 4 kids.
4? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he's got 2 with JoJo and then 2 from a previous marriage.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I forgot about that.
You know, just a guy who very clearly was beloved by everyone. And the worst part about all of this is like we're not even hearing, you know, like they're not even sorry. Not I don't want to say we're not even hearing, but like there are stories from people everywhere. Like I'm sure so many guys in AEW can come out and say something, and probably have about Bray. Like
lots have posted on social media for sure about like
so many just all over wrestling and even like outside of it. Like this guy was he was such a creative, kind human that touched so many other creative people in so many different industries that like. He's just it sucks. This is one of the most creative people, not only in the history of pro wrestling, but probably on the face of this earth. And to lose him so young, it's really just it's heart wrenching. And you know, I was a big fan of the Wyatt family.
I was going to say, what's your favorite Wyatt gimmick?
Oh, I mean, it's the Hawaiian shirt, just spewing
original cult leader,
just spewing as much weird stuff as he possibly can out there. But you know, just this is a guy who like I remember watching him when he was Husky Harris before my little exodus from wrestling. You know, and I was like, he never really stood out in that gimmick, but when he came back as the cult leader and I got back into wrestling and I discovered the Wyatt family, I was taken aback. I was like, oh, they're letting this guy do some weird stuff.
They got a little bit of faith in this guy.
Yeah, and then he had that feud with Cena that I went back and watched with. By the way, the feud itself, put the matches off to the side. The feud itself is awesome.
It's money. It's so good.
It's great. The stuff with the Undertaker was great. I mean, he carried an entire feud with the Undertaker without the guy ever showing up.
Yeah, that's tough. I
That's
think
talent.
I think a big thing with Bray is there was this ability, and it's the one thing that wrestling has that like other art forms don't, is that it
Yeah.
doesn't stop. It's a continuous thing. It just keeps going. And there was this way he put together everything. Like his gimmick was an evolve. Like it was Husky Harris, and then it was Bray Wyatt, and Sister Abigail was involved, and
Yeah.
then Bray had to give in to the Fiend, and he kind of tied it all together with lore and backstory, and the way he would interact in the ring, and the things he would post, and his promos. People used to say like, "Oh, Bray's promos are like rambling." Not, no, no, no. There's a point to these promos. There really is.
Yeah.
He clearly had a vision of like this is the through line of everything in this career, this whole gimmick and how it all plays out. And that's just something a lot of other people don't have the mind for. They're like, my gimmick right now is this, my feud right now is this, I'm doing this. And like, that's hard enough. That's
Yeah.
definitely hard enough. Bray just could do this other thing. Cause like the Bray Wyatt is the same character from when the Wyatt family was in NXT and it evolves into facing off against the Shield, to the feuds with Cena and Undertaker, to winning the WWE Championship, to coming back as the Fiend, and all of the pieces that were built in with the Fiend and the Firefly Funhouse, which I was thinking about. I'm like, what's my favorite Bray match? And I have three. I feel like they're all going to be on your list too of favorite Bray matches. It's
Probably.
Shield versus Wyatt Family from
Oh,
Elimination Chamber
such a great match.
2014.
Yeah.
It's the Firefly Funhouse match, which is one of the most absurd things I've ever seen in my life. And it's the Bray Wyatt Daniel Bryan match from Rumble 2014.
2014.
It was to me, it was the first match where Bray was, I was like, you've arrived on the main roster. And obviously Bryan's a great dance partner. So like, that's easy.
I mean, it's also
Bray
the best
was
Fiend match, in my opinion, is that match they had at the
against Daniel
Rumble
Bryan.
in 2020.
Yeah. It's just such good shit. To quote
Yeah.
the Vince McMahon puppet, it's such good shit.
Such a creative guy. And like, the thing is, what hurts about this most to me isn't even like, it's a guy who we've missed out on the rest of his career, all this other stuff. Doesn't like Wyndham Rotunda just like stick out as a guy who like probably would have started his own promotion somewhere at some point, just would have started doing weird shit.
He's
Like,
he's like the only person I would want to also go do promo school for people. You know what I mean? Like
not even that. It's just like I just feel like he just wants to be like a Carney Booker. Like he would have been the best Carney Booker.
I saw a thing where people were like he had talked about like running, a school or something with somebody. He also was talking about running a tattoo shop with Mikaze. And I was like, that's exactly the kind of shit I would expect Bray Wyatt to do when he retires. It's like, yeah, I'll just tattoo people. That sounds cool.
Yeah, and it sucks, man, because we missed the entirety of that, like the act that happens after wrestling, and that's the part that hurts most about when an active competitor passes away, is that we missed what happens next.
Yeah,
It's
also just hard. Like
it's hard.
Brody Lee, not 3 years ago, right? And then Bray. It's watching some Wyatt family stuff back is tough. But
those two guys are up there having some crazy tag matches with like
Piper.
Piper. It's Piper and Bruiser Brody on one side and Bray and Brody Lee on the other, and they're just going at it.
That's a lot of hosses. And so we're gonna transition now. Let's talk about one of the biggest and best hosses of all time. Let's dive back into the Big Show. When we last left the Big Show, he had just debuted in WWF to try to assist Vince McMahon against Stone Cold, but utterly fuck it up and throw Stone Cold out and lead to Stone Cold the main event of WrestleMania. He had signed a 10-year contract with WWF. Yeah. They were calling him Paul Wight. They then called him the Big Show, of course. He made his WrestleMania debut at WrestleMania 15, which was a month later, and had a match against Mankind for the right to referee the main event, which he lost. So Mankind was the referee for Austin versus Rock.
Yes, he was.
Then he, like, Mankind and him, like, they had a little bit more feud, but then he turned face and joined Mankind to feud with the corporation. And we're going to talk about the Union. So we have an elimination match. It's from Over the Edge 99. It's the Union versus the Corporation. I have like a very vague recollection of the Union. I remember kind of their theme song. I remember that Ken Shamrock was there, and I was like, "This, I was aware of this."
I always forget that it was Test and not Edge.
That's a good shout. It's wrong, blonde Canadian.
Yeah. It's because when you look at Test in this match, he's wearing tights
like Edge,
reminiscent to Edge, and he's got the similar hairstyles, same color.
And I'm like, big Edge. God.
Yeah. Barely, though. He's not that much taller.
So let's talk about the fact that this match shouldn't have happened. Do you know why this match shouldn't have happened?
Oh, did it come after?
It is the match directly following the passing of Owen Hart. This match should never have fucking happened. Yeah.
Oh no, I thought it was before.
No, this is the match that directly follows it. It's supposed to. It's essentially the cool down spot before the main.
Does this not strike you as an opener in the Attitude Era though?
They loved multi-man tag matches or tag turmoils and shit like that as the opener. Like they loved it.
This is the most opening match I've ever seen in my life.
So we've got the Unions, which is Big Show, Mankind, Ken Shamrock, and Not Edge Test. And they're going up against members of the corporate ministry, which in this case is really heavy on the ministry side because it's the Acolytes, Farouk and Bradshaw. It's our boy, King Mabel, a.k.a. Viscera at this point, and the Big Boss Man.
Yeah. What an like eclectic group that is.
Ken Shamrock's the smallest person in this match.
Height-wise, yeah.
Who's the smallest otherwise?
I mean, Test is not bigger.
Test is kind of lean
than Shamrock. Shamrock is a big fucking dude. As far as the width-wise, he's a very wide, strong man.
It's true. It is weird that they turned Big Show face so quickly, and this is where he's at 4 months after his debut. I don't know. It's a weird spot.
I mean, listen, man. It's better here doing this than like being one of the 1,000 NWO members from one of the NWO factions.
At least he was one of the OG NWO members too. That's good. This match is fine. It's Attitude Era.
It's as Attitude Era as it gets. I mean, the Big Show is in trunks, no shirt, and that was like, I've never seen that. It's
like if your dad like works in like an office, you know, like and he wears like suits or like shirts and ties all the time, and then it's like the weekend and he's in like shorts and like a Bengals t-shirt, and you're like, what the fuck is that?
No, because you're like used to it because it's your dad. But like,
or if how about this? You see your boss out of the office, and they're in regular clothes, and you're like, what? No,
you're like, whoa, that's not all right.
It's like when you would see your teacher in the grocery store, and you're like,
I'll never forget. One time I saw my teacher. I saw my third grade Spanish teacher at Target once, and that was a bit of a traumatic experience.
What are you doing here?
It's like, you have a life?
We don't get a lot of Big Show content at all in the beginning. The only note I have, because like, there's lots of wrestling. People are wrestling. That's what a wrestling match is. But, Shamrock
gets caught. A big leather overcoat.
Yeah, because he's Viscera. Shamrock comes in and gets hit with a fallaway slam by Bradshaw. Bradshaw does get they eliminate Test, but right before that, but with a big clothesline by Bradshaw.
Massive clothesline. Rocks the shit out of him. Shamrock goes for a Juju Gatani on Bradshaw. Farouk breaks it up. He hits a Frankensteiner that puts an ankle lock on Bradshaw. Bradshaw taps.
3-3.
Mabel gets in. Hits a side slam for a near fall. Drops an elbow because he wouldn't allow Shamrock to put an arm bar on him.
Yeah.
And then he tags in Farouk. Belly to belly by Shamrock to Farouk. Boss Man helps Farouk get to the ropes on an ankle lock attempt. Yeah. Shamrock freaks the fuck out, hits a belly to belly on the ref, gets DQ'd.
That belly to belly on the ref was clean.
Yeah,
it was really good. Big Show comes in
every time.
He choke slams Farouk. Teddy Long is in to count the pin on Farouk. Shamrock's been disqualified, so we're down to 2v2. So it's Boss Man and Mabel versus Big Show and Mankind.
Yeah, Boss Man wants to test the strength on Big Show, and Big Show's eyes light up. He's like, let's go.
Let's dance, pretty boy.
Absolutely rocks his shit.
Yeah. A shoulder tackle bumps Boss Man clear out of the ring. Big Show chases Boss Man down, brings him back to the ring. Big Show is just like fucking manhandling him.
He's so fast for his size, too.
Yeah, this is like he's not the peak athletic specimen that he was like in 96 when he debuted, but he's got like a good blend now of like the in-ring stuff plus the speed
And
and
he's
obviously the power.
stronger.
Yeah, he's physically stronger than he was before.
Like, he's just fucking going. Mabel and Bossman hit dual back elbows to Big Show. Big boot to Bossman. Mabel stops a choke slam.
Yep.
Body slam to Mabel.
A clean body slam of Nelson Frazier, who is like shoot 537 pounds.
I like the 37.
It's the most impressive thing I've seen in a while.
Yeah,
Because he doesn't look like Big Show tries. He just is like, it's like wrestling with children. He's like up and down.
Yeah, it's not like a tore every muscle in my back, brother.
No, it's not Kevin Hart racing against Stephen Ridley. Do you see that?
No, I didn't.
Oh, he did a foot race against Stephen Ridley and like tore his ab.
Stephen Ridley, the former running back of the Patriots,
and tore his like abductor muscles and something else, and he's stuck in a wheelchair for like a couple weeks.
Jesus Christ! How do you? He's just running.
He ran really fast, man. First of all, ow!
Oh no, he's
wasn't ready.
Nibbles.
So we get the big ass scoop slam. Big Show and Mabel brawl up the ramp and just fucking left. They just left.
They get counted out.
Leaves Bossman and Mankind in the ring. Bossman with some right hands. He sends Mankind to the steel steps, but Mankind hits the double arm DDT, gets up Mr. Sacco, locks it in. The Union wins. The mandible claw is a disgusting move, and I love it.
But I love that one other man got it.
Bray Wyatt.
It was Bray Wyatt.
Yeah. So, Big Show would turn heel and turn face again. And when he turned face again, he would actually have a feud with the Big Boss Man. It was a weird feud about Big Show's dead dad, who had actually in real life died years before. It was a weird time.
Yeah.
Yeah. They also had a Survivor Series match where Big Show took on 4 people, like 4-on-1 and won. And it was Mabel, Big Boss Man, Albert, and Midian. It was Wrestling Observer Newsletter's worst feud of the year, the one between Big Show and Big Boss Man. Yeah. But at that same Survivor Series, Big Show got put in a triple threat match between The Rock and Triple H and won the WWF title. It was very cool. Yeah.
Within his first year.
Yeah. And then he retained the title against the Big Boss Man at Armageddon. Big Boss Man challenged for the world title. And then lost the title on the January 3rd, 2000 episode of Raw. He would then go into the Royal Rumble. He would actually win the Royal Rumble, but not because they needed Rock to win. Big Show's feet did not touch first. Rock's feet did.
I love how they turned him heel, essentially because
right?
he was complaining about getting screwed, which he did get screwed.
Well, the thing is, if you go against The Rock, you're going to get turned heel at this point. That's just the way life goes.
But still, like, what are we doing here?
And it led to a very convoluted WrestleMania 2000 main event. Triple H defending the WWF Championship against The Rock, Mankind, actually Mick Foley, and The Big Show in a McMahon in every corner. I hate that it had the McMahon thing.
You know, I don't know that I've seen this match since the first and only time I saw it when I was going through the whole Attitude Era.
Yep.
Seeing it back, this is a good match.
It's a fine match. I think
this is a good match. This is actually a good match. It's convoluted as fuck at the end.
You know the
this is a really good match.
You know the stat about WrestleMania 2000, right? About singles matches?
There wasn't any?
There was one, and it was the Cat versus Terry in a stink face match. That's it. This match,
I don't know what that means.
This match should have been Rock Triple H 1-on-1. That's it.
Yeah.
Nobody
and isn't
else.
the age-old story that they wanted to do what they essentially did at Backlash, but Austin wasn't ready for that spot yet physically, so they had to push it off?
And then they decided they wanted to give Mick Foley a WrestleMania main event, which is actually a very nice thing. Mick Foley is fantastic. And
it makes sense. He was just coming off of 2 back-to-back pay-per-view main events with Triple H.
Bangers. This match, for being I feel like we had to talk about it. It's Big Show in the main event of WrestleMania. Very cool. he's not really in it because it's an elimination match, and he gets eliminated first. He looks. We're gonna talk in detail about the spots Big Show's in because he looks fucking incredible.
Yeah, he also looks great, just physically. He's got the
I was gonna say,
ponytail.
he's got the ponytail. He's got the big, with big nasty bastard on his t-shirt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he does the. This is the first time I've seen him do the.
I think
And he
it'd be
gets
funnier.
pyro when he does it.
I think it'd be funny if he did like Kawhi, just stone face every time.
Anyways, so The Rock is a babyface, but he also has Vince McMahon, who I understand is a babyface at this point, but also it's Vince
On
McMahon
the show.
on the show, but also it's Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
And then I just hear, is this thing on?
My time, baby.
Which we talked about it during the Triple H 3-parter. Go back and listen to it. Is, in my opinion, the superior theme of Triple H's.
I really like it. I truly do. Into the match. Early on, it's just Big Show kind of running show. He's also got a gold chain on, so shout out to that. The drip is real.
My boy is like every Dominican that wants to play in the outfield.
Military press slams to Rock and Triple H. Rock was the big shots to Big Show. Big Show just hits him with a sidewalk slam. Doesn't give a fuck. He catches Triple H coming off the top rope. Goes for a choke slam. Foley just hoofs Big Show in the nuts.
Which doesn't make any sense.
Why would he do
at
that?
all? At all. So we get the 3 men just tag teaming all up on Big Show. They start stomping on him at one point. Foley hits a cactus clothesline to Triple H. He hits him with a chair. Then Shane McMahon, who is the person that is representing the Big Show, gets on the apron for some reason. Rock does the thing where he hits the ropes, but when he does it, he hits him. And then he turns around as Big Show's hitting the ropes. Foley hits him in the back with a chair. Rock turns, grabs Show, hits a rock bottom. 1, 2, 3. Big Show's gone in 4 minutes.
He looks so good.
He looked great.
I genuinely was like, I wish Foley got eliminated first.
I chose this because I thought he was in it for at least 10.
Here's the thing. You and I have had this happen before. I remember I picked a match for the Taz episode where Taz was gone in 3.5 minutes. I was like, oh, shit. And it's a banger of a match. And we'll talk a little bit about it. We won't go into intense detail. But what did you...
That's a great match. I really like
this match. What? Give me some spots you liked in this match.
The Rock and Sock connection against Triple H, immediately after. Foley pulls out Barbie. At one point, they're ringside, and Foley gives Rock the ring bell and then holds up Triple H, which is a spot that literally never works.
Never works.
With any weapon, any situation, if you hold someone up, they're going to slip out and you're going to get hit.
Yeah.
And that's what happens.
I love it because commentary makes a comment about how they're like, hey, tossing a ring bell to someone who is your opponent right now, it's a risky move. And then immediately Mankind gets hit with a ring bell. I was like, yep.
Yeah. And then at one point, Foley teams with Triple H to start beating up The Rock, which I was like, you know what? I know they had the Rock and Sock connection and all this, but a year ago this time, Foley and The Rock were out there fucking feuding.
Yeah, where Foley was going to be furious at Rock for some of the chair shots he unleashed on him during that match. So yeah, they were having problems back then. Speaking of chair shots, Triple H hits a chair shot to Mick later. That was just right before he gets eliminated because it's a pedigree to Mick. God. That chair shot was disgusting.
Yeah, so after a whole series of events, Triple H hits a pedigree onto Foley. It's a near fall. That chair shot that you mentioned where he plasters him. Then he does a pedigree onto that chair. Mick is eliminated. He gets cheered out. Then he goes, fuck this. Turns around, grabs Barbie, hits Triple H in the gut with Barbie, then dips the scene.
Then, Triple H and Rock, last 2 men left. They brawl through the crowd in... What city are we in? Do you remember?
Atlanta.
You had an A. It's Anaheim. We're out in California. California.
That team sucks.
They suck.
They waived all their players that they just traded for. Anyways,
Triple H hits Rock with a chair when he has stairs on his chest. That's a big spot near ringside.
Yeah, power driver on steps.
Bile driver on the steel steps was nasty. Pedigree gets countered. Triple H gets backdrop clean onto the floor. They brawl in the crowd again. Rock suplexes Triple H through an announce table when they get back. Vince decides to get involved. He tosses Triple H into the ring post. Shane comes out and just drops his dad.
Yeah, what the fuck are we doing here, Shane? You're not in this anymore.
Also, if you really want to do some work, Shane, bring the Big Show back out. He's fresh. He only wrestled for 4 minutes.
Yeah. Rock hits a DDT for a near fall. Then a tilt-a-whirl slam.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
We get a Barbie shot. We get Rock launching Triple H into Shane in the corner. Then Triple H turns around. Rock hits a rock bottom, but he's too spent to get a pin off.
Vince comes back. He had been he got some color in the main event.
He did get plastered with a chair.
To be fair, cracked with a chair shot. Vince comes back and he's attacks Shane and he's got a chair and he hits the Rock, and then he hits him again. Rock gets pinned. Triple H holds onto the belt. Do you know what is unique about this ending of WrestleMania?
Is it the first time in WrestleMania history that a heel walked out of the WrestleMania main event as champion?
Correct. It is the first time a heel would walk out as champion. It should have been the Big Show. It should have been me.
For our sake, it should have been the Big Show. No, but I like this match. Honestly, literally until like the last 5 minutes of it, I would say maybe 3, 4, whatever. When all the McMahons started getting involved, I thought it was a really good match. Not really good, like 5 stars. I think it's like a solid 4.
I think it should have been, honestly, for the Attitude Era, it's actually underbooked. So,
yeah. Listen, I know what it should have been and all this other stuff, but for what we got, I thought that for the in-ring product up until the McMahons got involved in the last 3, 4 minutes, whatever that was, 4 stars.
And honestly, Big Show, you did great. We're going to take a break. When we get back, we have just more things from the Big Show. Back from the break. After this whole being in the WrestleMania main event thing, Big Show took on a gimmick of impersonating other people, which, unless you're Mizdow and that you're just impersonating the Miz, never fucking works. It just never works. He did the Showster, which was
so funny.
It was Hulk Hogan. He was Shokishi. Shokishi is the funniest one.
Yeah.
It comes out in a big ass thong. And then he was sent to OVW for conditioning in August. He came back at the Rumble 2001 and then set his sights on the Hardcore title. So we're at a third WrestleMania in a row we've talked about. So we're at WrestleMania X7. And the match is Big Show versus Kane versus Raven for the Hardcore title.
One of these things is not like the other.
This match is fun as hell.
This is my recommendation for the week.
Yes, I'm so glad. Same page. This match is so awesome. Fun. One, it's elite level Kane.
It's also like 10 minutes, 11 minutes, something like that.
It's elite level Kane. Like this is when Kane was in his absolute bag.
2001 Kane is the best Kane.
Raven is underrated. I truly believe. I think Raven was tremendous. And Big Show, I think, is coming into his best space as a performer right around here, and it's going to extend through the end of our episode. I think
it's also just a fun hardcore match.
Yeah, it's WrestleMania, and they got 11 minutes to do weird hardcore shit. Raven's out here with a shopping cart full of stuff. Kane and Raven get into it before Big Show even makes his entrance.
Yeah, you just hear the whirl,
and then
Raven's hitting Kane with a sign.
Kane tosses Raven out of the ring onto Big Show, and then Kane then jumps off the top rope onto Big Show too. I noticed that our referee for this contest is Jimmy Corderas. Shout out to Reffing It Up for always having good stuff. They had Santino on recently. Did you catch that?
I did not catch that, but I will be catching that soon.
Good. They also, I think, the week of recording, they had Gerald Briscoe on. And I guess JBL makes a surprise appearance. So
that one I'm very excited about.
Yeah, just constant good shit from RJ and the boys. Great stuff. Brawling through mass people, there's literally a group of people following them through the crowd. You can see the crowd moving.
You can see them jumping down from the stands and going and running there.
That does not fly nowadays. You can't do that shit. No. When we're at WrestleMania, we won't do that.
Yeah, just speak for yourself.
Who's that man trying to get in the ring? That's Javier.
If Roman Reigns retains, they better get everyone in the security.
What Actually, what's something that could happen at WrestleMania that would make you infuriated aside from
Bailey not having a match
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fair.
or being out there in any capacity. I'd be devastated. Me and Vince would have to have a discussion.
We're gonna have words. You rip that little thin mustache off his face.
Anyways, no, it'd be honestly it'd just be Roman walking
Roman
out with
retaining,
this.
yeah.
Because I don't need the bloodline thing to continue. I just don't.
No.
I'm good.
We've had so many iterations of it now. I'm good. Kane chases Raven through a curtain. Raven with shots with a street sign that Kane straight up no sells. And then Kane tosses him into a wall, and Raven makes a huge dent in it. It's great. Big Show chases down Raven. Raven locks Kane out of the gate, or Big Show locks Kane out of the gate. He's going to fight Raven,
but he doesn't do it properly. So like,
Kane just rips the fucking door off the hinges. He doesn't care.
He also dropped Kane onto some wood pallets right before that, which was fun. And then he drops a shelf, just like a filing shelf, and just drops it right onto Raven.
Kane with a 2x4 shot to Big Show. Raven then tries choking Kane with a garden hose.
Yeah, at this point, I was like, and then he just throws Raven effortlessly, just throws him right through a fucking random window.
This window spot is so unexpected and so funny.
It is the cleanest window spot in the history of wrestling.
For everybody other than Raven, because when you see him later, he has shards of glass in his fucking arms.
It's plexiglass.
I don't care. I don't want to go through any glass. That's not how glass works. Big Show blows Kane up through a door. Kane and Big Show doing like the choke slam, grab each other, and then they throw each other through a wall. I guarantee that in the Astrodome, they just built this little like extra room set.
Yeah, no, because that's definitely like a backstage, what are those things called? It's like I don't want to say it's like maintenance area, but it's a prop area where they keep stuff.
And they just built this little room around it, and they're like, we're going to fuck it up, and then we'll clean it up on our way out.
By the way, this specific part of the match I just referred to as the Freddy versus Jason part.
Where it's Big Show and Kane?
Yeah. It's just them fucking each other up. He chokes Raven with a hose. Oh, wait, we mentioned that. Yeah. Then he tosses him through the window. They go through the wall, and then Raven pops up out of nowhere, as you mentioned, with the shards of glass all over. He gets in a golf cart, and he's like, I'm fucking out of here. But Big Show hops onto the back of it, and immediately they crash.
Do you know the story about the crash?
I do not.
They were apparently like inches away from hitting a major power thing in the thing, which would have made WrestleMania go dark. It would have they would have fucked up the entire lights and power for the Astrodome, and WrestleMania would have gone off the air, which apparently inches away from that. So the last shot of WrestleMania X7 would have been Big Show forcing Raven to fucking crash.
Can you imagine just being a teenager at the time? This is a big deal for you.
You spend $45 on a WrestleMania on pay-per-view.
It's Austin Rock, and then just Big Show, Raven, and Kane are yeah, we're done.
We're done here. Kane also gets a golf cart, and Kane doing real people things.
Corderas in the back.
Anytime Kane in this era does anything remotely human, it's the weird. Could you imagine Kane hitting the links for a nice 18?
No, but now I'm imagining him with the golf cap on.
Oh, that's nice.
And it's
you know how he does the thing with his glove? He's just doing it with a putting glove. He's just yeah. Yeah.
And then it's just so mind you, he's got Jimmy Corderas in the back. Down there somewhere, down the hall somewhere, Big Show and Raven are fucking each other up. And then Kane just beelines it straight down and runs over Raven.
Yeah, Raven's leg gets run over, which is not good.
And then there's a table set up.
Craft services.
With just a massive amount of Snapples, and they knock the Snapples down. You see Snapple spill all over the floor.
That's the Snapple devastated. Fact. Raven gets just run along it.
I don't know what your thoughts on Snapple, but me personally, kiwi strawberry Snapple, my favorite juice beverage of any.
That is a good shout. Snapple's not as popular in Canada as I think it is in the States. It's kind of harder to find.
Third world country.
Excuse me. Favorite juice that's easily accessible here can be the Kool-Aid Jammers.
Kool-Aid Jammers.
Do you not have Kool-Aid Jammers?
Yes, no, I know. They're pouches, but which one?
Oh, cherry. Absolutely.
Ooh,
Essentially, if you give me
loser.
anything like candy or juice, and you ask me what flavor I want, my answer is red. Whatever,
I'm a
whatever
big
the
grape
red
guy.
is.
You
Oh,
give me a grape anything, I'm good. Maybe a blue raspberry.
okay. Blue, shake on the blue raspberry. It's a good call. So they brawl through Gorilla to the front entrance. Kane with a series of rights and lefts to Big Show. Big Show with a clothesline to Kane. Kane just sits up. Big Show has Raven in like military press position. Kane
He's about
knocks.
to throw his ass off the stage.
He's about to fucking kill this man. Kane knocks both men over onto the stage, so they both fall. And then Kane, feeling left out, diving leg drop onto Big Show, gets the pin, and Jimmy Corderas has to count from the side of the thing they fell through.
No, but like, if you ever seen, I don't know why this reminded me of it, but you know the meme of like when freaking Keanu Reeves was at that video game awards when he's like announcing the game that he's in. I forget what it was, and he's like the host, and you see him in like the
Cyberpunk?
blazer, cyberpunk, yeah. You see him in the blazer with the thing there, and then the person goes, "I love you," and he goes, "I love you too." Have you ever seen the meme of him like in that like outfit there, but shrunken down?
Yeah. Yeah.
For some reason, when Kane did the leg drop, I just pictured it in my mind. Oh, that's mini Kane.
It's Tiny Kane.
It's Kane, but small.
Mini Kane is a great gimmick. Like Blue Kane is a thing, right?
Blue Kane is sick though. Shout out to Blue Kane.
Blue Kane is dope. Blue Kane's a dream interview, I think. I think
You
that'd
told
be hilarious.
you told me about Blue Kane on a podcast probably like 3 months ago. I didn't know what Blue Kane was. Then I looked up Blue Kane. Blue Kane is now my favorite thing in wrestling.
Blue Kane is my favorite independent wrestler by far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Not even close.
Blue
He's
Kane,
just-
if you're listening to this for some reason and want to hop on for an interview,
Absolutely.
or honestly, if you just want to take my spot on the show, it's fine.
If you just want to come on for the vibes, that'd be great. Kane wins the hardcore title, which is very cool of him. This is a very fun match. It's the recommendation of the week by far. When we had the brand split, so actually before the brand split is the invasion angle. And Big Show stayed loyal to WWF despite being a WCW product.
He had a 10-year deal, so
that's fair. Money talks. He then was drafted to Raw in the initial brand split, but then was traded to SmackDown in October of 2002 and immediately began challenging WWE Champion Brock Lesnar. And that is where our next match takes us. It is Survivor Series 2002. It is the WWE Championship between Brock Lesnar and The Big Show.
The clip starts with Brock pretty much warming up. He's got his tape all around his ribs, but still looks goddamn massive. Brock Lesnar in the early 2000s was just a specimen like I've never seen before. It's hard to explain.
Brock Lesnar's huge. He's huge. But when he was so young and huge, it's kind of like if you're older and you're massive, I'm like, okay, like you had years to like build your physique. You know what I mean?
Like Brock is just like a normal athlete now.
But he's a big athlete.
Normal elite athlete now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Back then, he was literally just like a one of one. There's like LeBron James in basketball, Aaron Donald in football, and Brock Lesnar in everything else.
I remember in university, I think it was in like third year or something. I was living in Reston still. And I see this guy move in. And I'm like, that's somebody's dad. Like, there's no way that's a student. And he saw him behind, and he turns around, and he's like this baby-faced child, and he's like, I don't know, 6'6" and giant. And I was like,
Jesus.
I was like, what the fuck? They make them that big? And he's just like this. He was this really sweet kid. And he's just like, oh, I'm here to study like anthropology. And I was like, what the fuck?
Did he play sports?
I don't think he did. I think he just lifted weights. He just got huge.
It's such I feel for those people who are super tall because they always get asked this stuff. But like also if I was 6'6", brother, I would be like the starting wide receiver or tight end or for some team, or like I'd be a goalkeeper. Maybe I'd be a little too tall for a goalkeeper. Or I would just simply be dunking a basketball. Although I'd have to learn how to dribble for that, and that's always been tough for me.
I got the dribbling down pat. The height is the problem. The height is definitely the problem here.
I got the shooting down pat. Everything I've got everything but the dribbling ability.
It's nice to meet you, Jalen
Anyways,
Brown. It's very exciting that you're on the
all right,
podcast.
piss off. Brock Lesnar asks Heyman if he's nervous because Heyman is wearing the title because he's his advocate, as he always does.
Yeah.
Heyman says yes, he is, because Brock hasn't been the same since Hell in a Cell. Because Hell in a Cell against the Undertaker, Brock Lesnar got fucked up.
That match slaps. Go watch it.
And he says he's going to make sure, a little filler, but then he finishes by saying he's going to make sure that his client leaves with the WWE Championship. Hint, hint.
That is a good spoiler. What a good little Easter egg there in the promo, Paul Heyman. In the lead up to this, Big Show attacked Undertaker and tossed him off the stage because he was on the warpath ahead of this. That would actually lead to Undertaker having a match against Big Show at WrestleMania, was that 18? Yeah. And it was Big Show and A-Train versus Undertaker and what was supposed to be Nathan Jones.
We don't talk about that.
We don't.
This is the Big Show's worst look by far.
I'm so glad you said that.
By far. He looks like the Boss Man. Like, he's basically cosplaying as the Boss Man.
So Big Show is wrestling in slacks and a belt, like black slacks and a belt.
Which works. You know how it works? If you are Tony D'Angelo.
Yeah, and he's got the under singlet. Like, he's clearly got a singlet on underneath it. He clearly just got into the gabagool like minutes ago. He's got the short hair and the handlebar mustache, which I don't know.
Bad.
I don't know many non-wrestling humans who even try a handlebar mustache. You have to be in like a biker gang, or you have to be able to do a fucking
or you just have to be like Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
He's the only person that ever made millions and made that work. Seriously.
I'm trying to think of any other famous handlebar mustaches, and I cannot for the life of me.
I don't know. It's probably like did Lemmy have one? Like, I'm sure someone in Metallica probably had one.
Famous handlebar mustaches. So many of these are not handlebars.
There's definitely probably some like metal / heavier rock stars that had it, but like, that's fine.
Most of these people, like, these are not handlebars. Like Hulk Hogan, yes, handlebar. Geraldo Rivera doesn't have a handlebar mustache.
Geraldo, no.
Morgan Spurlock, the guy who did Super Size Me, did have a handlebar mustache. That is
we
true.
Don't talk about that one though.
That is true.
Anyways, here comes the pain.
And yeah, things are about to get really good. Lesnar goes chest to chest with Big Show the second he gets in the ring. Big Show with a chop. He tosses Lesnar across the ring. Lesnar then with a huge spear as Big Show taunts.
Okay, it's just a double leg takedown. Like, if you go back and look at it, it's literally he goes for a double leg, but it's Brock, and he doesn't understand that he's the most explosive human being in the world. So he just full on speared the Big Show in what literally might be the greatest spear I've ever seen.
It's fantastic. Sends Big Show to the outside. Lesnar gets caught and runs spine first in the ring post. Lesnar with like a side suplex kind of gets Big Show off the ground, but not really. He gets him off the ground enough on that suplex.
Big Show it's clear that Big Show did not jump on that. Yeah. And Brock just muscled him up. And that is a very impressive thing to do because Big Show's big boy at this point.
He does hit a German to the Big Show, which is impressive as he runs in the corner. This is where I realized I'm like, this era of Big Show is, I think, like, the look is bad. I think this gimmick and era is the beginning of my favorite run of Big Show.
Yeah, sure. I mean, he just kind of becomes an arrogant asshole.
But I think that works because if I was 7 feet whatever, I too would be an arrogant asshole.
Yeah, but the issue with the Big Show at this point, I mean, well, this specific, like, you know,
this iteration
era here for the next like 2 months aside, he's just a mid-card guy. Like, he had that gimmick, but he was just like the U.S. champion.
I think that this era of Big Show is him putting together, like, I think it's some of his best heel work. I think he is kind of the worst person. I also think his in-ring stuff is a good blend of still being pretty athletic while having a lot more psychology.
He doesn't look very athletic here. Let me tell you something.
Well, the thing is, I think his look takes away from how good he is. He's actually pretty good in this match. The look makes it worse.
Big Show counters an F5 attempt with knees to the gut. Brock hits the ropes. Big Show moves out of the way. And then Brock Lesnar absolutely fucking murders. I think it's Brian Hebner.
Shout out to the Reffing It Up boys. I
murdered him. Like, I have to. I'm going to send Brian a DM probably after this and be like, hey, like, are you okay?
How are you alive?
He does not hold up at all. He tackled this man and sent him flying into the middle rope, where he gets tangled up for a second and then has to like force himself out.
Lesnar reminds me of like a dog that still thinks it's a puppy because he still thinks it's small, and he's like,
Like
oh,
literally every German Shepherd.
every German Shepherd of all time, and then just bowls over a fucking child. Belly to belly overhead suplex by Lesnar, which is great. Heyman gets a chair, gives it to Lesnar. Lesnar swings the chair, and Big Show punches it away first, and then he gets absolutely clocked a second time on the noggin.
Please.
F5. Another referee is here to count the pin. 1, 2. Paul Heyman pulls the referee out of the ring.
Yep.
Paul.
Yeah. Paulie.
Oh.
And then he punches him in the face.
Little pop.
And then Lesnar's like, what the fuck's going on? And then he realizes it. And then they zoom in on Heyman's face when Brock realizes it. And he's just like,
Heyman has a very great Kevin McAllister Home Alone face going on, where it's the mix of surprise and like his whole life flashing before his eyes. He's about to get murdered. Yeah.
Anyways, Big Show chair shot to the back of Brock Lesnar, sets the chair down. Big old choke slam right to the chair. Brock got some height on that, John.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. The Big Show wins.
Paul Heyman did say his client would leave with the belt, and his client here was the Big Show.
Yeah, because he hugs him right after the match, taunts, holds the title.
I get what they were doing of trying to move Brock away from Paul. However,
it was too soon.
And we would come to learn that Brock and Paul are the greatest combo of wrestler manager probably ever.
I would say so, yeah.
Like, you can argue better managers than Paul. You can. And I
just think the longevity of it.
Yeah.
And like how many
there's also
iconic
like
angles they've done together.
There's a sense of believability because they are friends, like IRL. There's something very authentic about their partnership. I believe that Brock Lesnar would pay to have an advocate. And I also believe that Paul Heyman would latch on to Brock Lesnar like a fucking succubus. Like, I believe that.
Because he's a big boy.
He's a big boy. We're going to take a break. When we get back, we have probably the grossest segment we'll ever cover on this podcast. Back from the break. For those who don't know, Javier is now in charge of picking the matches and the promos. And for this week's promo, we're at the Big Show, because Big Show has gotten promo time before. He's okay with it.
It's a hard promo to find, though.
The promo we have, I don't even know how to intro this. He's feuding with Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah, he's feuding with Eddie Guerrero, and there's some special sauce involved.
A guy is here to deliver burritos to Eddie Guerrero backstage. Big Show grabs
himself Jose.
It is Jose. He talks to Jose. He starts digging into the pile of burritos from Taco Delight, which is the ultimate Party City fucking costume I've ever seen.
At one point, he's peeling off the wrappers, and as you, I don't know, anyone that goes to any like kind of burrito spot knows, they double wrap them always.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to get that shit off sometimes. I'm not gonna hold you. He goes, it helps fight freezer burn, Jose says. And Big Show responds, well, it ain't making it to the freezer with me, I'll tell you that much. That's the realest shit I've ever heard in wrestling. That is the realest shit I've ever heard in wrestling.
Big Show's
I've never related more to a line in pro wrestling than that line by the Big Show.
Earlier this week, wife and I were out. We were doing some shopping. We're at the food court in the mall. And I'm like,
Great
I'm
place.
Hungry. We're it's too late. Like, we're not going to want to cook when we get home. Let's just get something. I go over to the Chinese place. I get pick two with rice. I get the barbecue pork. I get the sesame chicken. And they're like, do you want that in to-go container? I'm like, yeah, I just prefer it in the to-go container too. Yep. It's like, do you need a bag? And I was like, yeah, I'm going to take a bag because, just in case I don't finish it. Dear listener, there's not a fucking chance I wasn't finishing that. Are you kidding me?
Who are we joking?
Who are we kidding?
Who are we kidding?
Of course I'm eating that whole thing. And it was delicious. It was so good. So Big Show eats a couple burritos, but he also licks a burrito and hawks a big old loogie into it. and gives it back to Jose, and he says, "You make sure that Eddie Guerrero gets this one, and tell him the Big Show puts some special sauce in the burrito." Big Show then eats the rest of the burritos,
Which looked
presumably.
honestly kind of bomb. I'm not gonna lie.
What's your go-to protein for a burrito?
It's always chicken for the burrito.
Okay.
I always get
Chicken burrito?
chicken. I'll get a chicken. All right. So my favorite spot here in Boston, to like my go-to kind of Mexican place, is it's like a chain restaurant here, local to here, but I don't know if it's anywhere else. It's called El Jefe's.
Okay.
Now I go up to the line, because they have the
Yeah.
stations pretty much. You go, I go, hey, can I get a burrito? They do the thing and then they put it down. I go, yeah. As soon as they get the burrito done, I want Mexican rice, which is always like the yellow orange rice.
Yeah.
Let me get black beans. Yeah. Let me get chicken. Let me get a little bit of queso on there. And then they slide you over to, because you don't have to pay extra for queso or guacamole at this place. Which is
That's
great.
big. That's
Yeah.
big.
They slide you over to the vegetable stuff. And I'm always like, hey, let me get lettuce. Let me get a thing of guac, chipotle mayo, wrap it up. We're out the door.
That's pretty good. Sounds like a
Yeah.
pretty good burrito.
I never get beef because I usually get nachos as well with that. And I like to get the ground beef / spicy beef.
I usually,
that.
my go-tos for burritos are carnitas or chorizo. Those are my two that I flip.
I think with chorizos is like, I'm just, I just want to eat the chorizo. If I'm in chorizo, I just want to eat it. I just want to just take my fingers and I just want, there you go, chorizo.
Big Show ate all of the burritos, doesn't matter what was in them, and it's going to be a bad choice. Big Show's out there for a match with Orlando Jordan. His stomach is hurting him.
It's hurting.
Big Show with an elbow and Jordan with shoulders to the stomach, which is not good for the Big Show.
Let me tell you something. This is some of the best selling ever.
I feel like we've all been in a similar position, like not, wrestling on national television, but we've all been in similar positions to the Big Show of needing a bathroom and kind of calculating if we can make it that far.
So since I got out of diapers, I've never pooped my pants. Never.
Same. Should we start a club?
Yeah, I've never done it. I envy the people that have.
Badge?
Yeah, I've never done it. Anyways, I know like a lot of people, but like especially my friends, it's shocking the amount of friends I have that have shat themselves.
Yes.
But so the closest I've ever been, I don't remember what NBA draft it was. I think it was 2016, the Ben Simmons year. Yeah. I have no idea. But so I'm at my buddy's pizzeria. We had just played basketball. And he makes a buffalo calzone for us, which was like the standard. It was the usual for us at that point. And at that point, I have to take the train back home because I have to get to my cousin's house. I have to shower and change to get ready to go to my cousin's house because every year it's tradition I watch the NBA draft with my cousin. So I'm going and I'm getting to the train station. I'm like, something's a little off in my tummy right now. And then the train comes, and as the train's going, I'm like, oh, this is bad.
Oh, no.
And then I get off at the train, but because of the specific, there's multiple train lines that you can take here in Boston, and so it's different colors. The train that would have left me closest to my house is the orange line, but there's no orange line available in the area that I was in, so I had to take the green. And the green line stop that's closest to my house at the time was about a 20-minute walk.
Oh no!
So brother, there was a point in the walk back I sprinted. Like literally full on 100% speed. Go.
But you have to balance between the how much will it jostle your insides? You know what I mean?
It gets. I didn't give a fuck. I was going. I have very good control of my bowels. Anyways, I was going. And the worst part about all this, I make it back. Pants are still clean. My brother's in the bathroom. The way that I knocked on the door like this,
you gotta
get punching the door. I was like, "Yo, if you're not out of this bathroom in 5 seconds, there's gonna be an accident on the carpet right here." I made it in time. It's still to this day the closest I've ever been to making a mess in my pants.
Big Show hits a big chop and then straight up is like pinching the cheeks, runs to the back, takes the count out loss to Orlando Jordan. This is pre-JBL, pre-cabinet Orlando Jordan too, just like rookie out of Boise State Orlando Jordan. As you can imagine, we then go back to the bathroom and we see Big Show's feet in the stall. And I have to talk about this with the WWE production team. We get it that he's having tummy troubles.
Nah, this is great. Nah, this is excellent. Everything about this is excellent.
The overkill on the fart machine is unbelievable.
Nah, fam, this is amazing.
Unbelievable how many different fart and shit sound effects.
I didn't even know there were that many sounds that a person can make.
Maybe it's different for the Big Show because he's so big.
We go through like 100 different versions of it.
Eddie's at the door. Eddie's telling Big Show he can't punk him out twice. Eddie did this to him. Eddie's
like something crawled inside of you and died.
Jose is Eddie's cousin, because of course he is, and he put on the special sauce. The noises are so fucking dramatic.
I love Eddie's like understandable, pure, like I'm trying to put a white person on voice. Hey man, what are you going to do to wipe your ass?
Eddie took all the toilet paper.
Man, Eddie, there's no toilet paper in here.
This is, I think, the reason Big Show got to do the Big Show show. Because Big Show is doing some excellent comedy here.
My God, the facial work. So Eddie goes, he says he's got something for the Big Show. And then he kicks the door in. And Big Show's like, I'm going to...
And then we get more absolutely unnecessary sound effects.
This was absolutely necessary. By the way, it's just the fact that he's still standing with the door leaning up against him and the sounds are still coming. I'm like, this man's dripping down his leg right now.
This man is having a rough go. All right, our last match.
And then the shaking legs is the last bit that you see, just his legs shaking.
Our last match is between Big Show and Eddie Guerrero for the United States Championship at No Mercy 2003. Big Show had done some other things. He had destroyed Eddie's lowrider, so Eddie's very serious when he comes out. Eddie also had been, I believe, chokeslammed onto the lowrider and has lacerations through his back. Also, Eddie is the inaugural champion. The title only came back in July of 2003.
Yes, it did. Yeah. Well, this iteration of the U.S. title.
Yes, of course.
Because it came back... And then it got mixed. It got combined, right? The WCW title got mixed with the Intercontinental
IC title. Yep.
Yeah. And so this is it, just being split up again.
What do you think of the match?
It's solid. It's a weird clash of styles that didn't necessarily work for me as far as getting it to the next level. But as far as, like, it didn't seem like a pay-per-view match. You know what I mean?
I get what you mean. There's a next gear.
Like it's like a really good SmackDown main event.
But I do think that the mix of Eddie's gimmick being put up against the Big Show is great. The whole lie, cheat, steal. He is going to do some weird shit to try to get the advantage.
Yeah, it's a fun match.
Big Show being just annoyed with Eddie. And Big Show is great at being annoyed by somebody smaller than him. Like when somebody's quick and somebody is cunning, Big Show's really good at selling, just like, this is so fucking... No, just let me hit you. Just let me catch you with my big mitts. And so he's really good at that. Big clubbing blows by Big Show, stomps on Eddie. A massive overhand chop by Show. Eddie does this great leap to the outside and manages to pull Big Show over the top rope with his momentum. That was cool.
It's kind of like a slingshot face buster kind of deal onto the apron.
Then Eddie grabs a chair, tosses it into the ring, which distracts the ref, who's like, well, there can't be a chair in the ring. So he goes to throw it away. While the ref clears the chair, Eddie just grabs a garbage can lid and smacks Big Show with it.
Nobody had a higher wrestling IQ than Eddie Guerrero.
Awareness is on 1,000.
It's 100. It's like, it's not even, it's the maximum and no one should come close.
No.
Show tosses Eddie into the post twice, back first. Before press throwing him like that, and then so effortlessly,
and then stepping on his head.
Yeah,
ow! He then removes the top turnbuckle, runs Eddie back first into it. Eddie's back is all fucked up this match. Eddie's then on the top rope and pulls Big Show's face into the exposed turnbuckle because turnabout's fair play, you know. Hits a crossbody frog splash that knocks Show over.
It's just a high flow, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. Show presses Eddie off at 2, and he lands directly on Nick Patrick. Refs are having a hard episode.
It gets a whole lot worse for him, brother. Because Eddie's still on top of Nick Patrick. Show goes for a leg drop. Eddie moves out of the way. Nick Patrick eats a 500 and whatever pound man's leg straight to him.
So I would say, in order, worst things that happened to refs this episode. 3 is this leg drop. 2 is that shot that Hebner takes.
No, that's number 1 to me. Nothing is beating that.
1 is Jimmy Corderas having to drive with Kane.
Nah. I don't care. I'd rather get hit by a Mack truck than whatever Brock Lesnar did to Brian Hebner.
That's pretty much the equivalent of getting hit with a Mack truck, so that's fair.
Give me the Regina George getting hit by the school bus. Like, I'll take that before I take Brock Lesnar barreling through me.
So yeah, Nick Patrick's dead legally. Eddie takes out some bracket knuckles, turns them back away after clean clocking Big Show. Nick Patrick is awake, but Big Show manages to kick out at 2. Eddie's like, okay, what do I do now? He gets the title belt and cracks Big Show with it. Eddie then hits a frog splash. Big Show still kicks out at 2. I was surprised.
Yeah. Also, when he goes up for the frog splash, he kicks Nick Patrick to wake him up.
So funny.
It's the little details with Eddie that make it so great. Show hits a spine buster, which doesn't really look good for a near fall. He hits a choke slam, but Eddie was too close to the ropes. He gets his foot on him.
Yeah.
Show went for another choke slam, but Eddie kicks him straight in the dick.
Yeah.
Then hits a DDT. He doesn't get the cover off for like 20 seconds.
Yeah.
But when he does, it's a near fall. And then Show just says, fuck it, I'm done. Gets him up and down with a massive choke slam. Like, this had some oomph behind it.
This is pretty good.
1, 2, 3. The Big Show wins the match. He's the new United States champion.
And who would Big Show lose the United States Championship to, Javier? He would lose to John Cena in John Cena's first big WrestleMania.
Oh, wait, actually, no. He doesn't have that theme yet. Word Life. This is basic thugonomics.
I took an introductory course in thugonomics, actually. It was very good. That is where we leave with the Big Show this week. What did you think of this kind of era of the Big Show?
I had fun. This is one of the more fun episodes we've done in a while.
Between the hardcore match and this, I know you love the special sauce. You're probably living right now.
Yeah, this was. I mean, listen, the worst thing in my opinion, was the Union match. That was not great.
Big Show just leaves.
Yeah. And then, I really enjoyed the McMahon in every corner match. I thought it was a really good match.
It's fine. It just doesn't
convoluted ending that makes that it takes away from it a little bit, but I'm not crying about it. And everything else I thought was fun. I thought it was fun.
I do think, and I've mentioned a couple times, I think this is where we get Big Show's best combination of things. His best combination work between.
It also shows a range.
He's got Big Show has insane range. I was joking earlier about this is why he got the Big Show show. Big Show has legitimate range. He can do a lot of different things, and I think you have to have such a long career. Obviously, being that big helps, but we've seen lots of really big people show up, flash in the pan, and they're gone.
Nathan Jones.
Big Show has staying power because of what he can do in all different aspects of the wrestling world.
Yeah, and he gets it. He gets it. Next week, of course, Big Show Part 3. We're talking about pretty much the rest of his career. We got about a decade to go in terms of when matches happen. All the way up to the Authority stuff, which when all the way through to the end of his WWE run.
When he was crying and knocking people out, which was a very weird combination of things. Hey, you should go listen to my other podcast this week because Javier was the guest host. Come join us on the Pop Capsule podcast. We talked about things from 10 and 20 years ago. It was really fun. We talked about the MTV VMAs. We talked about Back to School. We talked about Gravity and how Javier hates Gravity.
I fucking hate that movie.
It's not very good. Javier, where people find you on social media?
I'm on the Twitter X machine at JMello Sports. Sauce the boy a follow.
Follow me as well on that same machine at It's Evan Gomes, ITSEVANGOMES. Most importantly, follow the podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Crossbody of Work. Hit us up on YouTube and hit subscribe. We're on the quest to 50 subscribers. Come be part of that first 50 because we not only have wonderful, the podcast as you listen to every week, but also other exclusive content each week. We just did a revisited episode on Vader. We've done some other Haas content this month. We've got lots of wrestling drafts on there. Go and check it out. Plus, of course, hit us up on social media for all of our weird reels that we post. I will just let the intrusive thoughts win when it comes to reels. But also,
we also have grids.
We also have grid games, other fun guess the wrestler type games. So that's a good time as well. FullPressWrestling.com for all the links to the matches. The recommendation this week is that hardcore title match. It's super fun. Also, FullPressShop.com. Cop the merch, support the boys. I think that's all the things. Rate and subscribe. Continue to do cool things.
Yeah, like us.
We just want you to like us so bad. All right. It's time for everyone's favorite part of the podcast. It is time for Javier. You got any final words for the people?
This week on Life Advice with Javier. I hate to make it another somber note one, but I feel like it kind of has to be this week.
I think so.
But I'll try to turn it around into something cheerful at the end. But, again, we lost Terry Funk. We lost Bray Wyatt. Just hold those near and dear to you. Tell them you love them. Tell all your friends you love them. Like, even if it's, like, not the thing that you usually do with your friends. Like, I know, like, me and my group of friends, we don't really, like, get sentimental like that.
Yeah.
But, when stuff like this happens, like, just reach out to them, let them know like you care about them, stuff like that. You're thinking about them, and then turn around and make like a stupid joke about like their hair or something, or lack thereof, or whatever. It's fine. Call them. You can be booger eaters after the fact, but that's just what it's got to be. Because it's important to let those that you love know that you love them. Show affection. I promise it's gonna be okay. And if I've learned anything from the passing of Wyndham Rotunda, it's, man, don't be afraid to be creative. Yeah. Do some weird shit. If there's some things that you are passionate about that you feel like, oh, I've got these creative juices flowing. I don't know what it is. I'm not very much, I'm not an artiste in that regard.
This is our creativity. This is
my fucking creativity. Me putting special sauce in this stuff is my creativity. Just go and do it. Like, we just did a whole hour-long podcast, and I decided to rib Evan by putting the goddamn burrito spot for the big show in here.
We did get to hear about your burrito order. So honestly, I think it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, like, go do it. If you've got something you want to do, if you got a picture in your mind that you want to paint, if you've got a clip in your mind that you want to film, something, anything, whatever form of art, whatever form of creativity that you have flowing through you, just go on and do it, because life is too fucking short, and you don't want to be old and gray and live with that regret, and you don't want to go too soon and never have done it. Just do it.
If you never make it, you'll never know.
Yes.
You and I have talked about this. We made this podcast not knowing if anyone would ever listen, and we didn't really care. We love that people listen. It's incredible. It still makes no fucking sense to us.
I would still be doing it nowadays if it was just me, Evan, our partners, and our parents that still listen to it.
That's right. We have fun with it. We have a really good time. Go and make whatever you want to make, because the world is better with art in it. The world was better with Bray Wyatt in it because of the things that Wyndham Rotunda did. What a fucking memorable gimmick. What a thing that would live for a very, very long time. All right. We're back next week. Big show part 3 will be coming your way, and then we'll be off of the hosses and probably do a complete course correction and cover somebody super weird. We'll talk to you next week.
Run.